Boom. I'm live. You live?
Boom, I'm live too. Welcome in, everyone.
Come on,
The
Bubba.
Gentleman's Code, episode 12. Welcome in, everyone. It's October 30th. Me and Priyama were just talking. We're 6 days away from the presidential election here. So we'll have a little juice on that. But if you guys are watching on YouTube, on X, make sure you guys follow, subscribe. We do these videos every single Wednesday morning at 8 a.m. We haven't missed one yet. And we don't plan on missing one. So if you guys want to follow along for current events, financial advice, crypto, investments, all different stuff, we hit every topic in the book. Today we got something else a little different that I know some people in the live stream last week wanted to talk about because they seen the fly guys. But make sure you guys follow, subscribe, leave some comments, leave likes on the videos. It really helps us out to get the algorithm pushing and more people to see what we're doing here and what we're building. Also, if you guys aren't in the community, go join the link in the description of this video, the Taylor's Code, where we do a little more one-on-one talking with people who want to see what we do on the day-to-day regarding e-commerce, crypto, sales, all different stuff. So if you guys are young, looking for your first job, or maybe you're debating about going to college or something, we have a lot of information and educational resources inside the Taylor's Code to get you guys started and making money without having to spend money, which is the best part about what we're doing. And also the community aspect. So if you guys just want some friends or people to talk to about your business, it's the place to be. So welcome in, Priyamo. How are we doing today?
Fantastic. And I'm going to echo one thing that you said real quick again. Guys, like, comment, subscribe. Do everything you can to engage with the content. If you're enjoying it, if you guys believe this stuff is helping you out, if you're taking at least one thing away from these live streams every single week, comment, like the stream, subscribe. We need that because, the reality of the platforms that we use is to be able to push this out into the algorithm and get out to more and more people and continue to grow the network and grow how strong and how influential our network is. We got to be able to get this out to other people. How do we get it out to other people? Like, comment, subscribe, engage with the streams. So every single week you guys pop onto here, make it a habit. Like it, comment. Like it, ask questions, engage with us, because this is for you guys. This is for the people inside of the Taylor's Code. And for those of you that aren't inside yet, this is for you guys to understand some of the things that we talk about, see what we can provide in terms of value, and then obviously at some point see if you actually engage and join the community and be able to take part in what we have going on inside of there. But yeah, absolutely engage with the streams. So
That's a great point because the more comments that come through give us more ideas about like, oh, well, he's thinking about this or what other people are thinking as opposed to us just talking back and forth. Have like other people kind of chime in on the side is good. I like it.
yeah, even though Ollie, most of the stuff you say is not good. I still like to make fun of you. I still want to be able to see what thoughts you had. Or Bhuvnesh, give us some thoughts over there in India. So, okay, so you made a point before we had started. So we got to start here. We got to talk about it. So the presidential election is on November 5th here in the United States. Big topic. So Trumpino was just on the Rogan podcast, which pretty much broke the internet the other day. And then we saw what Google and YouTube try to do to just pump the brakes on that virality of the video. But so I'm assuming you saw it. What did you think of
Mhm.
the interview? What did you think of what Trump had to say?
Yeah, I thought a lot of what he had to say was kind of his normal talking points. A lot of his, his rally rah rah, get people hyped up, get people out to vote talking points. But Joe Rogan is just one of the best podcasters to ever live. So obviously he put his own twist on some of the questions. He talked about one of the points that I thought was the most interesting and that I didn't really understand of, once you're in power, the president has a lot of power to be able to do a lot of different things. Um, was he was talking about the regulatory agencies that block you from being able to build different places because of certain plants, because of certain soil, because of different water avenues, whatever it is, right? Environmental agencies that are trying to protect the environment. So it's a constant battle between the government trying to get stuff done and then these environmental agencies that are trying to like protect different plants and so kind of sometimes silly things, sometimes not silly things. It's important to protect the environment, but I never realized the back and forth that the president or the government has to do to kind of get stuff done. Not even the government. If you're a real estate company in New York City, you got to go through so much regulation to be able to build a building in New York, and Trump knows that probably better than anyone. He's built tons of buildings all over the world. So I thought it was very interesting, and Trump shed light on that I never really understood, especially as like a multi-billion dollar company. You want to build a data farm out in Nevada, you probably got to go through a regulatory agency to make sure where your land is. And so from what Trump was saying there, he kind of wants to peel back on some of those regulations. He wants it to be easier for people to be able to build and infrastructure and build companies and all this kind of stuff. So that was one of the best, I think, points that Trump had that I don't think many people have heard, because I've heard a lot of what he's had to say over the past 8 years now, and a lot of his points are kind of the same in immigration and the economy, right? But that was a new one that I heard in terms of regulation, because you heard Elon speak on regulation because he's a business owner. He wants to build, right? And he spoke on that too, but Trump shed a lot of light on that, which I thought a lot of people will like, and what he
Yeah.
had to say with that.
And I agree, and you're right. That's what I was going to mention was Elon was the reason that Trump is now having this be brought to his attention, because Elon wants to do Doge. Fantastic, right? He's going to pump Dogecoin, by the way. The Department of Government Efficiency, because Elon knows himself best, being that he has SpaceX, being that he has Tesla, being he has the boring company. Now he's doing the AI, he's doing Starlink, he's doing what's the, not Starlink, but the one where he's putting the chips.
Oh, the Neuralink.
Neuralink, that's what it is. So he has all these massive companies that are trying to do innovative things, trying to push the envelope in terms of what's possible for humans. And he sees how much these regulatory agencies and these regulatory bodies are impeding his own progress and in his own businesses. And so we've talked about this before, how in America, because we've been around for so long, we continue to legislate, more regulations, more regulations. We're going further along the line of restricting our ability to actually have progress, right? So we talked about this before. In California, they spent billions and billions of dollars for a project to be able to build something similar to a maglev train in California. Think about this. Billions and billions of dollars were spent to do this project, and all they have to show for it is about a couple of slabs of concrete with no rail on top of it. Elon was talking about this, what they did in California. But think about how insane that is. Billions and billions of dollars spent for nothing to have been accomplished. This happens all over the country. And this is why you see the infrastructure in our country and the innovation in our country slowing down. I think it's very obvious. And you wonder, well, why is that? If we're the richest country in the world, we have all this power, we're able to do whatever we want militarily, we're able to send all this money overseas to accomplish our goals overseas. Where's all this money for our own country? Why are our cities not continuing to innovate? Why do you look at a place like the Middle East where they have all this money, all this oil money, they're so rich, and they're building these fantastic cities, fantastic stadiums for the World Cup. They're doing all these things with all this money that they have. Where is all that innovation in the US? Why isn't anything like that happening in the US?
Well, for one, the politicians are lining their pockets. That's, becoming well known now. And I think hopefully Elon and Trump, if elected, they kind of put a stop to that with the Doge, the Department of, what is it? It's Department of Government Efficiency.
Yeah, the Department of Government Efficiency, yeah.
So hopefully, that kind of stops with politicians lining their own pockets and kind of, stealing from the pot. But also, like you said, sending money overseas for things for foreign interests that the American people don't vote on. Nobody voted to, send all that money over there. That's just the government choosing to do that with the funds. So hopefully, I saw actually yesterday, Elon said that he thinks that they could cut $2 trillion in spending from what he's seen from the government's budget. He could cut $2 trillion in spending. Which, think about what $2 trillion could do for cities that have been neglected in America. Detroit, you know, I there's so many examples, but I mean cities all over the country. I mean homelessness problems. You could clean up homelessness with a couple billion, they say. 50 to $100 billion you could clean up homelessness. That's what we sent to Ukraine this year alone. So the fact of the matter is, if you actually want to get stuff done, you got to keep your money in-house. And I know why they do it. I know why they send this money overseas. And it's actually a very interesting video. Larry Fink of BlackRock and some other people were talking. I saw an interview. Maybe I'll try to find it and I'll send it to you after, Priamo.
Mm-hmm.
But they were talking about how once these wars happen, that who goes in and rebuilds the cities? Well, it's companies like BlackRock, Fidelity, all the big, financial institutions that we know. They just go in and they rebuild everything that was destroyed by the military industrial complex. They come in and rebuild it. And they put up a McDonald's and they put up apartment buildings and they put up all this stuff that it's like Americanized, and then they make all the money off of it. So that's like, it's a never-ending cycle of destruction at that point. You're just going to start leveling cities, and then, BlackRock and Fidelity and all these big bank institutions are going to come in and rebuild it to make more money. So that's a whole nother conversation for another day. But you're saying like what are we going to do to stop spending? You have to have oversight. It's like the Pentagon can't be losing trillions of dollars and expect, your country to be great.
No. So now that you said that, and that's a great point. Yes. So we make so much money through warfare. We make so much money through creating weapons, having a military, going into other countries, taking their resources, then, like you said, destroying these other countries, rebuilding them for our own profit. Well, not ours, but for the benefit of the people in charge. And that makes you think and wonder, well, what are they going to do to our country then? Because if they have to go to another country and destroy it to be able to rebuild the cities, rebuild the infrastructure, rebuild the apartment complexes, put in new restaurants, fast food chains, what are they going to eventually do to the U.S.? And now it starts to make you think, okay, hold on a second. Maybe there's a reason that they're trying to send us down this downward spiral in our nation. Maybe they want to destroy the country so that they can come in and rebuild it. Maybe they want to destroy the country so they can rebuild the cities, etc. So it makes you start to think, okay, is there more money in allowing the U.S. to crumble so that it can be rebuilt as opposed to just fixing the problems that are here right now? There could
I
be.
never thought of that. That's a good point.
Yeah, maybe that's simply how they're looking at it. There's just more profit in allowing it to crumble and then rebuilding it after a catastrophe. So now you start to think. And so that's why people like Trump, who are trying to come in and doing their best to at least go against the establishment, they're going to get so much pushback, and people are literally trying to kill him because he's going against what their agenda is, which is no, allow it to continue to crumble, allow the country to continue to decline, because we're pretty much declining in all metrics. And so the last point to make with the regulations, that's why what Elon's talking about with trying to deregulate and put our country back in a position where it can actually have progress. He explained it's similar to like veins in your body, capillaries. If you continue to restrict your veins and you continue to close them and close them and close them and make them tighter and tighter and tighter to the point where you have no blood flow, you're going to have a heart attack. And that's what's happening with all this regulation and these laws being passed, where there's no process to remove laws, no process to remove regulations. So naturally, over a long enough time frame, you're going to have so many laws and regulations you can't get anything done. He made a point that Elon, for SpaceX, listen to this, for SpaceX, there's a law where he cannot hire refugees and people from certain types of countries because it would be a security risk to the nation, being that he works with rockets, right? Another regulatory body has a law saying that you can't discriminate against this group of people and you have to hire them and give them the opportunity to work for your company. So you know what they did? So literally two laws that completely contradict each other for his same company. Because of lawfare, because they want to weaponize the law against Elon, what did they do? They came in, they said, yep, illegal. You have to be able to hire these kinds of people. And he said, it's literally against the law for me to hire them. What do you mean? Boom, hit him with the fine. And told him if he didn't pay the fine, they were going to shut down his business. So then he had to pay the fine. So think about how stupid that is. There's two laws that literally contradict each other, and depending on who's persecuting you, they can decide on whether or not they want to use this law or use that law.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
It's crazy.
It's insane. Why? How is that a thing? That should have been, get rid of that. Boom. Okay, that's a mistake. Two laws that contradict each other doesn't make any sense. Cool. Get rid of one. Pick one.
Yeah, and on the topic of Elon and his rockets, there's even more just to get a rocket into space. Like it costs billions of dollars, Elon says. Like it's not cheap. You gotta like buy the airway for that day, to clear airplanes out of the sky. Then you got to go through just paying for environmentals because all that gasoline and all that stuff, like they charge him for that. Oh, it's CO2 emissions. Like they charge him by the emissions. And there's so many, it costs like billions of dollars outside of what it costs to build the rocket and to fuel it and to actually hire people to do it. This
Hmm.
is just paying the government to send a rocket up because of, like we talked about before, environmental safety. There's going to be animals that are going to be affected. So all this kind of stuff. It costs billions of dollars, and hopefully, if we want to be a multi-planet species and have people on Mars, we're going to need rockets going up every hour, with people and conga lines floating through space getting to Mars, which I think is super exciting, by the way, kind of off topic, but I think that's another conversation for another day of, humans being on Mars in a
Hmm.
couple of years, which would be really cool. But yeah, you got to open things up. You got to let businesses flourish. And like Trump and Joe Rogan were talking about, China doesn't do this. China just granted 60 plus new coal mines for coal power. Like the United States doesn't use coal power like that in 100 years. So like they don't have environmental concerns and they're just doing whatever they want. So we're falling behind in that aspect because China's building steel. Very well, Pittsburgh, the steel town,
Hmm.
hasn't been a steel town for 100 years, and now China's doing coal mines and building steel. So it's like we're just losing all of that business and all those jobs that could be with steel and with coal and all that stuff is just, which I don't think coal is a good energy, by the way. I wouldn't use it, but these are things you got to think about. Other countries are doing it with no laws attached, but we're just blocked because you legally can't do it.
Hmm. Yeah, and you inherently destroy your own country by overregulating and pushing companies out of the United States because what are
Mhm.
businessmen going to do? Exactly that. Okay, you can't do it in the US? Fine, I'll just go to a different country that will let me do it. So, not only did you defeat the purpose as opposed to the regulation, yeah, you regulated your own people. You prevented the industry from happening within your own country. But now, because you've sent the business outside of the country, you've lost the jobs, you've lost the GDP, you've lost everything that comes with that business. So, what Trump's talking about doing is okay, how about instead of just sending all this business away out to other countries and letting them destroy our businesses financially? And obviously, if the companies in the US have to operate at such high costs, they're not going to be competitive with people in China. They're not going to be competitive with people in Mexico manufacturing, developing all these different things. So he wants to impose tariffs on these people. He wants to impose tariffs on the countries that are going to try to import, or they're going to export to us. We would import all their products and goods. He says, no, no, no. I'm going to tax you so much on your products that it's not going to be profitable for you to be able to sell it in the United States. Therefore, allowing us to remain the leaders in that industry within our own country, which is a great thing. You want the people within your own country to be able to benefit from the industry that's going
Yeah.
to take place in that country.
Let's
Um,
let's talk about that because there's a lot of talk about the tariffs and what Trump wants to do with tariffs, and people are calling it like a sales tax on everything coming in. And the basic economics of it is just what you said. Like if you're going to import goods, they're going to be hit with the tariff because they're manufactured in another country they come in, right? But the whole point of a tariff is because a lot of these companies are American-based companies. They're headquartered here, corporate employees are here in an office making decisions, but they're made and their labor, everything else is overseas somewhere because it's cheaper. The economics of it is that you bring that manufacturing back to America. Not only do you give Americans jobs now instead of a foreign population like China or India or wherever they make this stuff, instead of employing those people, now you're employing your own citizens with a good wage and you're bypassing the tariff that the company would have to pay to sell it to Americans. So
mhm,
not only will Americans get the product cheaper, they also get jobs. And now you could ship it out, and now those countries are going to have to pay more because they're importing it. So now we're going to take in money from countries instead of spending money to countries to get our own goods that we are making anyway. Like Apple. Apple puts together iPhones in China and India and Bangladesh, but we have to pay more for iPhones because we import them back in here.
mhm,
But if iPhones were just made here, then not only would you be able to get more iPhones, they would be more available because they're here instead of shipping them on a boat across the world. And you would have employees that would be putting iPhones together in a factory, and it'd just be better. And I just don't think many people understand the economics of doing that.
Right. And a government essentially is a business if you're going to run it properly. You want your government to be profitable, making money, putting money into the treasury and being able to fund things properly. And so what we've done now with the government is we've completely bankrupted it. We're in trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars of debt because we continue to spend without actually becoming profitable as an organization, because that's what the US government is. It's an organization. And organizations over time, what are they going to do? They're programmed to be able to grow. So if you're growing this government and you're actually, trying to expand your influence across the world, at least be doing it in a profitable way. And that's why at least the mindset that Trump has is of a businessman, of a guy who's trying to make deals, of a guy who's trying to make money. Regardless if you like his personality or not, you have to say, well, he's definitely a good businessman. He's made billions of dollars. I mean, he's a billionaire now. And he didn't start out like that. He did build his businesses. He did build his real estate portfolio, his real estate development. So he's a deal maker. So at the very least, he's going to do things in a way where it's going to make people and make the country more profitable, which we need right now. Being $33 trillion in debt is not a sustainable trajectory for the country, because if you just keep going further and further into debt, that's just a debt onto the American people. That's getting put onto the backs of the Americans, because we're getting taxed to make the interest payments, and then as they take out more and more debt from other countries, that's getting put on the population. The people take out that, or they take on that debt. And so somehow the government just continues to take out debt on the American people, and the American people can't decide whether or not that actually happens, which is actually another thing that's insane when you think about it. But yeah, no, we have to get back to being a profitable nation, making money, being in the green, and then taking away regulations within our country so that we can start to innovate within our own country. That's the goal. That should be the goal.
Well, the sad part is we're like there, like we do that, except we put so much money into foreign interests, into military across the world, that we end up being in a deficit every year where we're $1 trillion in debt. But if you think of it in terms of like an accounting equation, assets equals liabilities plus stockholders' equity. Our assets are what's in America, like what we own, all of our companies, the land, houses, skyscrapers, right? That's what we own. And then you could think of even like the gold reserve, US dollars, of what Americans own as the assets. The liabilities would be the treasury bond, what other countries buy from America and then take interest to that. That'd be your liability. That's what we owe to other countries. That's the $33 trillion, right? And then the shareholders' equity in that would be, or sorry, no, the shareholders' equity would be the treasury bonds that other companies buy from us. And then the liabilities would be everything that we spend that doesn't go to the American people. That's just out there. We owe that, but it doesn't benefit us in any way. In a company, your liabilities sometimes make you money, but in our case, our liabilities don't make us money. We're just putting it into Ukraine, we're putting it into Israel, and we've done this for hundreds of years with, Taiwan and South Korean war. So all these wars that we have done over the years, it's just benefiting other countries.
Mm-hmm.
So we're almost there. Like our companies are good, our companies are profitable, like Apple, Microsoft, like these companies make money. It's just the government, when they get the tax money, they don't bring it back to us. So it's a unequal equation.
Right. And so to retrace a little bit too, just because we've been talking about Elon and Trump and what their plans are if they win this election, which, right now it's looking like that they will. Elon, people are attacking him for supporting Trump and supporting the Republican Party just because, obviously the Democratic Party is losing its mind. And I think to myself, how can people attack Elon, right? Richest man in the world, one of the most intelligent men in the world, if not the most intelligent, literally doing everything he can to save the human species and be pro-human and have more people and be a multi-planetary species. How can you attack him and think he's dumb for the decisions that he's making? Don't you think the most successful businessman in America right now and one of the most intelligent people on the planet knows what the fuck he's talking about? Probably thought out his political stance a little bit, probably understands the trajectory of the world and the human race. Why would you attack someone like that? He's a hero. Elon's a hero. I look at him and that guy's a hero because he's literally trying to save the human species. What do you have so against him? Why do you not trust him? Why do you think you know better than he does? That's an ego thing. People who are working, minimum wage jobs, not that there's anything necessarily wrong with that, but people who are not very ambitious, clearly not high IQ, and clearly unable to make their own thoughts and create their own opinions. How could you attack Elon? How ignorant could you be to think that you know better than he does, right? And so if you see a guy like that who's a hero trying to save the country, trying to help the country, trying to help human beings, don't you think you should get behind a movement like that? Don't you think he has good interest for the country? It's like people should be, and most people are. You see it in the polls and you see it with the voting. People are getting behind it, but how could you attack a guy like that? He's trying to save humans.
Especially when every Joe Schmo and Karen on the street has their opinion too. It's like everybody's allowed to have their opinion when it comes to this stuff. That's why this is America. Everybody has a vote and you could use your vote accordingly. Some people have more influence. Like you see though, this is funny because you see a lot of Hollywood and famous people always support Democrat for some odd reason. Like I don't understand why. Like you see like a Eminem and Beyonce. I know
It's because they got the Diddy tapes of them getting banged in the ass.
Diddy was a big Democrat. He was always with Obama, Hillary. So that is a rabbit hole that you could go down. But like you said, it's like businessmen, Bill Ackman and Elon and these guys that run these big banks. I even see now Trump's calling out like the CEOs of Google and Apple. They're calling them to kind of like get back on his good side because they think he's going to win the election and they want to be on his good side and make more money for their companies. So I think yeah, it's like he's one of the smartest people to ever live on this earth, him and like Einstein, and he's gonna take us to whole new levels that we've never been before. Why wouldn't you trust a guy like that? You don't have to, and a lot of people say, oh, because he's a billionaire. Well, he earned to be a billionaire. He wasn't just given hundreds of billions of dollars. He earned it. He built companies that do amazing things like Tesla, the largest electric car company in the whole world. He built that.
Mm-hmm.
He sends spaceships that are automated to come back and land where they took off from. Nobody's ever done that. And countries that have had space programs for hundreds of years can't even do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What a stupid argument. Oh, I don't trust him because he's a billionaire. He wasn't always a billionaire, and he wouldn't be a billionaire if he didn't provide value to people in order to make him a billionaire. If he wasn't doing anything good, people wouldn't buy Teslas. People wouldn't invest into SpaceX. People would not buy his products then if he wasn't providing any value. It's you, the people, who are buying the products because he creates value that made him a billionaire, right? The people you should be attacking are the people who do nefarious things, the people who do illegal things, like make addictive drugs, like pharmaceutical companies, like these billionaires who hide behind the scenes. They don't want to show their faces. They don't want to do anything good for society. These are the people that you should be attacking. But no, you attack Elon just because he's in the public eye and he wants to actually be vocal about the things that he cares about. So then we attack Elon. Well, how about you go dig deeper behind who runs Pfizer, who runs these big pharmaceutical companies, who runs the food industries, who runs all these different things that are doing no good for human beings, and who are the people in charge of those companies? Why don't you talk bad about them? Why don't you attack those billionaires? No, I don't trust Elon. He's a billionaire. You're looking at the wrong guy. Okay,
Did you,
uh-huh.
oh, sorry. I was gonna say, did you hear what Joe Biden said about him? He said, because Elon was speaking up about immigration and stuff. First of all, Elon's an immigrant himself. He came from South Africa when he was a kid, a teenager. But Joe Biden said, he's like, I don't know why Elon's talking about immigration. He's an immigrant himself. And actually, when he was here on his visa, he was supposed to be a student, but instead he was building companies. So he didn't use his visa the right way. It's like, who cares? Who cares how he used his visa? If he was taking a stupid chemistry class in college or if he was building PayPal, why does it
Right.
matter? The guy has put more GDP into this country than any human ever.
Mm-hmm.
I
Exactly.
thought that was just so dumb of Biden. Not like Biden said anything smart, but
Yeah, Biden's also retarded, so I get it.
yeah, he doesn't.
Yeah, he's got dementia and is clearly declining mentally. I mean, just it's a clown world. It is a clown world. You see what's happening, especially with the fact that the media tried to say that Biden was fine for the past 4+ years. It's just a clown world. How could you just
Kamala said
lie?
it.
Yeah, Kamala said, "Oh, he's fine. He's fine. Yeah, we did everything together." Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wait, how are you gonna sit here and lie to people saying that mentally he's fine? Of course he's not. It's just a clown world and people who lie and lie and lie and lie and lie. Is like, why would you want these people to run your country? They don't operate within the truth. They don't care for the truth. And so how could you trust people who don't care for the truth? You should be in favor of those who are just going to say what it is. Hey, here's the reality of things. Let's go ahead and get to a solution. Because until you start talking about the truth and accepting what the truth is, you can't find a solution. You can't solve a problem that you're ignoring is even there. So I don't want to have those kinds of people running the country where they're just going to blatantly lie to you because they don't want to look bad.
And that's why they hate Trump so much because he tells the truth. He tells it how it is.
Mm-hmm.
And people have seen that since he came into office or started running for office. They've seen that he had that in him, that he wasn't bullshitting. You might see him up there, he might say some wacky things or crazy things at sometimes, but you know what he's saying, he means it. He's not bullshitting you. And
Mm-hmm.
other politicians, when they're up on the stand debating him, trying to give a BS answer to the question, it just doesn't look as authentic as when Trump answers a question. And that's why so many people got behind him and are still behind him because he's no BS. He could go off the teleprompter and talk for 2 hours in front of a $50,000 people crowd, right?
Mm-hmm.
So people connect with that. People don't want to be bullshitted. And I think they think the American people are so stupid. A lot of them are. I'd say about 50% of the population is pretty stupid at this point, but it's crazy. They think so people are so stupid the way like she gives this answer. It's like, oh, Joe's fine. I mean, Joe did everything together. Would you guys do anything differently? Not that I can think of. We did great. They think we're so stupid.
Right. That's the insult of it, and that's why so many people are starting to flood the gates towards Trump's side, and that's why it's going to be a landslide. This election it's gotten to the point where people understand that they think that they're stupid as fuck. They think they're just genuinely stupid. If we say it on TV, if we keep telling you enough times, you're just gonna believe it. People got to the point now where it's just, how are you gonna expect me to take this as a good answer, a good policy? I mean, you see the video that Kamala had with Anderson Cooper. I think his name's Anderson Cooper. Who's the fucking gay dude with the white hair who's doing
Yeah,
the
yeah. Innocent Cooper, yeah.
Oh, Anderson Cooper. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, even that event, you could see Anderson Cooper visibly getting annoyed at Kamala and the way that she's answering these questions from the crowd because they were just they were incoherent. They had no point to it. There was no actual answer. It was just all this dance, 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 dance around the question. She couldn't answer anything. And it's just, how could you possibly vote for somebody that I still have no idea what the fuck her policies are? I have no idea what she's going to do. I have no idea what she's going to do different. Apparently, she's not going to do anything different. I,
No.
I, I really have no idea what she's going to do. Trump, I at least know what he says he's going to do. He says he's going to do things for crypto. He's going to do things for the economy. He's going to do tariffs. He's going to be able to close the border. He's going to stop having illegal immigration. He talks about what he's going to do. So it's just so. How could you be a free thinking person and come to the conclusion that Kamala knows what she's doing or she's going to be a good pick for the president? I don't know how you come to that conclusion.
I don't know, but it's important times. Get out and vote if you haven't already. I think I'm gonna go this weekend, do a little early vote action so we don't have to go on election day because it would be crazy. But yeah, important election. It's gonna come down to the swing states. I think Trump's winning in all of them. But states like New York and California, I mean, I guess there's no hope for them.
No hope. No hope for them at all. So, all right. Well, outside of that, I know that the gentlemen were asking us, they were clamoring for some fashion advice in terms of how to dress, what to do, what to wear, what to smell, etc. And so, if you have anything specific, I want to let you, touch upon that first because we want to give the gentlemen some ideas in terms of how we dress, how we like kinds of colognes that we got. I got my Tom Ford right there. I'll talk about that here in a
Oh, I got the
second.
Tom Ford too. Which one is that?
Vanilla
Yeah.
or Vanille Fatale. Let me put this on the screen right here. Boom. This is a banger. And then my secret sauce is the ombre leather. Tom Ford. You ever have the ombre
Is that the
leather?
black? I have the black one. I don't know what the name of it is though. Is that what it is?
It's a black bottle. It's circular,
Circular? Yep, that's the one I have. Yeah,
ombre
that's the one I
leather,
have.
super fire. And so, yeah, the way that you dress and the way that you smell as a man is very important. If you don't have if you don't come across as sharp and dress well, whether it's to meet a girl, whether it's for a business meeting, whether it's networking, etc., you're gonna be lacking in so many areas of your life. The way that you present yourself is so important, and
Hmm.
so you have to have some type of fashion sense, some type of care for what you actually look like and what you wear. So, if you want to give the guys a couple of tips, a couple of
Yeah.
things that you like to do.
Yeah, I guess I could start from the ground up because we'll start at the feet and work our way up. And I always, when I was in high school, I was one of those sneakerhead kids. I always wanted the most expensive sneaker, the new LeBrons or the Air Jordans, right? But as I'm getting older, I don't have as many of those pairs. I actually have a lot from when I was like in high school. I still wear those. But in terms of a good shoe, you want something casual, something nice, a nice leather, maybe a nice white leather or something, a casual shoe that you could wear with a nice pair of pants, dress pants. So this will be like a nice going out outfit in my mind, right? A nice casual pair of shoes, something nice, maybe white, maybe dark, maybe a dark gray color, something casual though, nothing too nothing too fashiony, like showing off, right? Not no Air Jordans or anything. But then from the pants, like wear something comfortable, wear something a dress pant. Dress pants are actually incredibly comfortable. A lot of people think that dress pants are maybe like tight. They think of like a suit, but even like suit pants, they're very comfortable these days. They make them out of good material, polyester. So get something. Here's the thing. I'd get two pairs of jeans, two light pairs of dress pants and two dark pairs of dress pants. Just starting off, right? Before you have a crazy collection. There's no need to go all crazy and have all different types of colors or anything. People like neutral colors, and like neutral colors would be what Priamo has on, black. This is a neutral color, a dark
Mhm.
blue, right? So then once you have the basics in terms of a few nice colors of shoes to wear with pants, jeans, jeans would be more for like an outdoorsy event, I would say. Like if you're going, I don't know, whatever you do outside, I don't know. But more dress pants would be more inside, more formal, casual. And then what I like to do is have a couple basic tees, couple neutral colors. I actually have a lot now since I've grown my collection. A couple whites for the summertime, blacks for the winter, and then you could slip in some other neutral colors like cream, blue, and then you have a nice casual outfit. But then you could take that with the dress pants and add a collar to it. So then if you want to wear a button-down shirt, you have a couple nice button-down shirts to go with your dress pants and your casual shoes. And then you can even upgrade to um, dress shoes.
Mhm.
So I think it's those are a couple like a basic things you could do to start looking right and start making sure everything fits. Trying it on in the dressing room is another important thing. I see a lot of people that dress nice, but their shit just doesn't fit them right. So dressing it, having it even a little tighter, if you got some arms on you, have them a little tighter on the biceps, around the shoulders, around the chest is what you want. You want it to have a nice, secure fit and look nice. And if you have a nice body that you work on, it'll show it off nice.
And great point at the end there with the body. So keep in mind, gentlemen, you could have the most expensive fabrics, you could have the best cologne in the world, you could buy all the designer that you possibly can. If you're still a fat piece of shit, you're not gonna look good in the clothes, right? You're still not going to come across as well as you could have. The number one most important thing about fashion is actually the way that you look physically, okay? You can wear very inexpensive clothing, but if
Hmm.
you look good, you feel good, and then you have well-fitted clothing to go along with that, you're going to look like a gentleman. So, that's number 1. Make sure you actually look good. You're not overweight. Your stomach's not out here, out here. So you have a nice suit on, but you can't even close the jacket. Don't look like a fucking bum, okay? So that's number 1. Number 2 is notice how Bobby didn't say anything about baseball caps, wearing, Jordans and having on, basketball shorts and tank top. People in the U.S. dress terribly and notably terribly. And other countries always talk about this. We dress like shit, and we never dress up for anything either. We don't respect events like going to church. We don't respect events like going to a communion or going to a business meeting. We just dress like shit overall. What Bobby said is perfect. Nice pair of leather shoes, doesn't have to be expensive. Even if you buy something like Air Force Ones, white Air Force Ones.
They go with everything.
They go with everything, right? Not super expensive, like 110 bucks. Okay. I buy like 2-3 pairs at a time because I'm a professional. Cheap, not very expensive. Boom, get one pair like that. Keep it nice. You can wear that with anything. Dress shoes. Me, I have a pair. One of my favorites are a pair of Ferragamo racing shoes. So they were made for Europeans whenever they race cars on the racetrack. So they have tread on the sole of the shoe so that you don't lose your traction on the pedals. But a great loafer, right? Have a pair of loafers, something a little bit nicer so that you can go to church in it. You can go to a business meeting in it. You can go out with a girl and have those on. So a nice loafer, okay? Like Bobby said, the dress pants. I almost always wear dress pants now. Every once in a while, I'll throw on the jeans too, but I almost always wear dress pants. Whether they're striped, whether they're plaid, whether they're, you want to wear khakis, that's fine. Very inexpensive, but have a nice pair of dress pants. And then if you're fit, like we were talking about, you get, just like Bobby said, even if it's just a white tee, black shirt like this, etc. Bang. Next you know, you tuck it. You get yourself a nice, classy belt. Boom, you tuck it. You got your belt on. Now you look like a fucking professional, and you're comfortable, and you didn't have to work hard to put on that outfit. I think that's a huge play that so many people don't do nowadays. Is you never see men tucked with belts anymore. It's very rare. I do that all the time because I have good shoulders, good chest. I fit good in my shirts. Boom, you throw in the fucking tuck. You got the belt going. Now your shirt fits nice. Classy.
Yeah, and notice we didn't mention anything about Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Tom Ford, right? That stuff's nice. Like that's those are good clothing brands, but you don't have to wear that stuff to be dressed nicely. A lot of people don't understand. You could go down to TJ Maxx and Marshalls and get good quality clothes at a discounted price. And it's still, if it fits you right, and like we said with the pants, if you match, like if you wear a dark blue pants with a black shirt, it doesn't it's not the most expensive outfit, but you'll look good, you'll look clean. And another point I'll make too, because I see a lot of people do this, and this was a big thing growing up. Don't wear athletic socks with dress pants and shoes. All right. Invest in some dress socks that have a little pattern on them. They're thinner. Dress socks are usually thinner than athletic socks because you shouldn't be running track in your dress pants and shoes, right? So you have a thinner sock on. So when your pants ride up you're at a nice dinner, nobody wants to see an Adidas or a Nike logo. You look like a clown.
Great point. That's a great point.
So have a nice dress sock in between your shoe and your pant, preferably something that matches.
Right. Be a fucking professional. That's all it takes. If you men don't even understand nowadays, if you just make any effort at all, you're beating so many people already. Every time I go out, I look like a gentleman. Good fit, look good, clean cut. That's one other thing too I'll mention. If you can afford it, right? This is why it's so important to get your money up and get your income up. Because the sooner that you can afford doing a weekly haircut, you'll never regret it. I've done a weekly haircut for the past 3 years straight. Why? Because I always want to look sharp, always want to look fresh, continue to get my mustache, continue to get the goatee lined up, continue to get the fresh fade on the sides, right? Clean that up every single week. Because if you're always looking clean, always looking fresh, you look good, you feel good, you work better, guess what? You make more money. I fully believe that me getting a weekly haircut every single, for the past 3 years has increased my income. Why? Because
It's a confidence thing.
that too, confidence. I'm just naturally more confident because I know I look good all the time. I don't ever feel like, I need a haircut. I don't like how my hair is right now. Nah, boom. Every Friday, I'm at the barber. Clean it up every single week. Maintenance. And so these little things that you do over time start to make your appearance and start to make your presence better. Because if you're always clean cut, you're just going to look better. You just do. And the last point I'll make too is cologne. Especially when you're going out on dates, you're meeting a girl. And now, business too, it's important. You want to smell good, but especially for women, you want to have a good cologne that, again, you feel confident in and you know that you smell good. Because the cologne, that's the special touch that people don't really think about. Girls all the time say this because girls are very sensitive with their noses and they pick up on smells. If you come to dinner, boom, you give her, you meet the girl, you You grab her hand, you give her a kiss on both cheeks, and when she comes in, she can smell a little fucking ombre leather Tom Ford on
Mm-hmm.
you. Oh my goodness, she's gonna be like, "Who is this guy? He smells
Oh,
good." Yeah, go ahead.
a little tip with the cologne, a lot of people would just spray it on their body, right? Spray it on their chest here. But a little tip that I learned back in the day with the cologne is spray one on your wrist here, and then mix it together with your wrist. So then when you go in for that handshake, you could smell it here when you move it around. If you're grabbing something, you actually have it on almost your hands almost, but it's not on your hands because your palms get sweaty, it'll wipe off. But just on the inside of your wrist here, just spray a little bit, rub it together, and then when you go in for that first handshake to meet someone, they could smell it even better as opposed to getting in close for a hug and on your chest here. Put it on your palms here. So then when you're reaching around, you're talking with your hands, us Italians,
Yeah.
they could smell it a little bit better. So that's a little tip too.
So you just taught me something because I ain't hugging no dudes. It's fucking gay. So
Yeah.
you give him a handshake, bang, get that cologne on there, fire play. I'm gonna start doing that. So, another thing with the cologne. So you should have a daily. I call it the daily driver. I say, oh, this is my daily driver. So not a car, but my cologne, my daily cologne. I'll put on. You want it to be less pronounced, less crazy. So that's why ombre leather I think is a perfect cologne for a daily.
Yep.
Now, if you don't got $500, $600 for a bottle yet, fair enough. We'll start down the line then. Just get something a little bit less expensive. But again, something that smells good, makes you confident, but it's not aggressive. It's not flashy. Something for the daily. You want to have a daily driver. Something that I use for, like I was saying earlier, that I'll put on for a date, I'll put on for a night out, etc. Something a little bit more, not aggressive, but something a little bit more like, ooh, okay, what's that? Oh, that smells good. That's different.
What do they
Something
call it? Like a citrus pop, maybe like a citrusy or something like that.
exactly. Something it's got more of a bite to it. Kind of like ooh, okay,
Hmm.
that smells different. That's good. So that's why I like this one for that, the vanilla fatale, because it
Hmm.
smells like vanilla. And when you're going out on a dinner date or you're going out for the evening, that complements the outfit very well because you're typically, when you're going out in the evening time, you're going to wear a little bit more of a poppin', flashy outfit. You throw on
Hmm.
that cologne, it feels right. It feels good. And that's something you don't want to have on all the time because then if somebody's smelling that on you all the time, it's a little bit much.
Yeah.
So hopefully that makes sense to the individuals watching. So, but yeah, you do have to take it seriously. Take the way that you dress seriously. You should want to leave the house looking good, looking fresh. You should always do that because you never know who you're going to meet, whether it's a business potential, whether it's a network potential, whether it's a girl potential. You never know whenever you're going to meet the fucking, the woman of your dreams. So,
Could be anywhere.
could be anywhere. So if you meet the woman of your dreams, do you want to be dressed like a fucking imbichi? Or do you want to be dressed like a gentleman, smelling good, confident, so that you actually have the balls to go over there and actually talk to her because you know you look good, you know you're fresh. That's how you want to feel every single day you leave the house because you never know when you're going to meet that person.
One last point on this, I think accessories are important too, but don't overdo them. Get yourself, me and Prama both have a basic chain that we wear. We'll call
Yep.
these the daily drivers.
Dailies. Yep.
Just something on the daily. And then also if you're talking about a watch, if you're just getting into if you're young and just getting into fashion, you're not going to have an expensive Rolex, Audemars Piguet, anything like that. Obviously, we all want them. We all want as many Rolexes and all that stuff. But first, getting into the watch scene, go to the local mall by you. Go into a K Jewelers. They got beautiful watches. Citizens, Movado is a really nice clean watch. I have a gold Movado. It's just basically gold. Doesn't even have a dial on it. Just has a couple little specs for each number, 12 of them. Very clean. It was only about $400. You could get a Citizens in the 200 to 500 range. If you go higher end, maybe more than 500. But if you're looking for a basic entry level watch, I really like Movado, Citizens, Invictica, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that how you say it? Invictica?
Invicta, yeah, those were my first watches I started buying back in college.
Hmm.
Invictas,
Yeah. Great starter
beauties.
watches.
I always got compliments on the Invictas.
They're
Anytime,
really nice.
yeah, for what they're worth, they're fantastic in terms of what you would spend to get one. And yeah, that's important. I believe watch is a great play too, because it's just it's not too much because you're not trying to look like Johnny Depp. Okay, Johnny Depp a little bit, it's fruity, right? I'm not trying to be wearing bracelets and fucking necklaces and all this shit. Nah, just give me the daily driver chain, maybe throw on a Rolex for the night out, and I'm good. But Invictas are fantastic. I agree. Those were my first watches I was getting in college.
Hmm.
Um, but that is a good point. That the watch just it makes you have more of a gentleman's look, right? It means you're about your because it says something about you. It says that you care about your time. It means that time's important to you. And men who their time's important are valuable men. If your time's not important to you and you don't give off that presence, that feeling that time's important to you, you're not a valuable guy. You're not somebody that's worth spending time with. So I think that says a lot about you as wearing a nice watch, is saying that yeah, time's important to me.
And it's a good talking piece too. A lot of rich, wealthy men collect watches. So if you have a nice watch on that you just spent $10,000 on, someone's gonna notice. If you go out to dinner and you're sitting next to a wealthy gentleman at the bar or anything, and he sees that, oh, he's got the new Rolex, Daytona, blah blah blah, whatever, he's gonna be, oh wow, this kid's got it going on. He knows what he's doing. And like Priyama said, it shows that you care about yourself. It shows that you're willing to invest in yourself. As opposed to, like we said, clothes you could get pretty cheap. A cotton t-shirt is not going to make you look rich. But when you add in some features, a nice watch or a nice chain or something like that, it takes you to the upper echelon, that next step up of fashion.
Mm-hmm. It's a great point about the Rolex. It's a talking piece. As I noticed that as soon as I bought my first Rolex, was I'd wear it all the time. And I got to the point, dude, I was wearing that shit to the gym. It was hilarious. I didn't give a fuck, but I was just wearing that shit as a daily. I was wearing it every day. And yes, it happened all the time. People are like, "Oh shit, what's that watch? Or can I see that? That's a Rolex or that's a Datejust?" Because people recognize Datejust. It's iconic. People know what it
Hmm.
is. And yeah, all the time, people would ask me about it. It would start a conversation. People that have watches, people that are successful would see it and they would know instantly, okay, this guy's competent. This guy must have some kind of money, some kind of business going on because he's got a nice Rolex. He's young. So, like you said, it says a lot about you. Is the watch itself, am I using it for its utility? Am I using my watch to be able to tell what the time is? Fuck no. No. But I bought the watch for the benefits that come with it. The benefits being the conversation starters, the potential to make more money, the persona and the aura that I'm going to project as having that as a part of my outfit. All these things matter because they do bring you opportunity down the road because it starts those connections with people that you wouldn't normally start a connection with, right? So, no, absolutely. The way that you dress and your fashion is incredibly important, and you should take it seriously.
100%.
Cool.
Well, that's all I had for the fashion stuff today.
Yeah, I think we're good there. This should be about an hour in. If there's anybody in the chat that has any other questions for me and Bobby, anything at all, throw it in now or forever hold your peace and wait till next Wednesday. See, I know Rob is in here right now. Yes, Rabba, buy anything in crypto. He's gonna ask, what should I buy right now? Boy,
Anything.
yeah, all of it. Boys Club, buy the Boys Club or buy Bitcoin and Ethereum if you're a coward. But I would buy the Boys Club right now. But yeah, I think
Yeah.
I'm good to go. Do you got anything else, Bobby?
No, just one last message. If you're here watching, I got a few viewers on my end. If you guys are on Twitter and can't comment, just make sure to follow. Get us next Wednesday. Like I said in the beginning of the show, we're live every Wednesday at 8 a.m. where we talk about current events, which happens to be politics is the most popular current event right now. So I'm sure we'll be talking about that next Wednesday as well after the election and other things as well, personal finance, how to dress like we did today. So if you guys like the content, make sure to like, subscribe, throw some comments on there, and catch
Yes.
us every Wednesday.
Yes. Like the stream, comment on the stream, subscribe if you haven't already. Continue to be a part of the education, continue to be a part of the growth that we're trying to have as opposed to wasting your time watching dumb things on the internet. The more time you can spend on self-development, the better because you're going to be happier down the road being a more intelligent, experienced, well-mannered, well put together gentleman as opposed to somebody that's watching brain rot content on TikTok and YouTube all day that's giving you zero value, just laughs and dopamine hits. Don't be that guy. Okay? That's most guys nowadays. If you're gonna be that guy, fine. Let me and Bobby continue to conquer the world, and we'll take
Hmm.
over for you. So What was the last point? Last point too. So every Wednesday at 8 a.m., like Bobby said. Also on Tuesdays, me and Bobby are gonna start being on some live spaces on X. So on X, they have the feature to be able to do spaces where people get on. There's an audience. We speak to the audience. We talk about things like crypto. So I'm gonna start dropping the link inside of the Taylor's Code. There's a on Tuesdays at 1:30 p.m. Eastern every Tuesday. There's a Boys Club Spaces, Twitter Spaces, and so we're discussing Andy, Wolf, Pepe, Brett, the four meme coins, a part of the Boys Club, and essentially, teaching you guys about the narrative, understanding why the narrative is going to play out long term, continue to build support, continue to build a culture around those meme coins, so that as the bull run continues, we all continue to get filthy rich because of the appreciation of the price of the assets. So Tuesdays at 1:30 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to start dropping the links for you guys. Get on that X Spaces because me and Bobby are going to be on there, and you'll probably hear us speaking on Tuesdays moving forward as well.
Yeah,
Cool.
I second that.
Boom. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're out. I'm going to end the stream. We'll see y'all next